So today is November 13th, 2024, Wednesday morning, about 9:15 a.m. US Eastern Time. So this morning I was listening to some inspirational message from YouTube from I think her name is Priscilla. I can't remember the last name. It's from, she's a motivational speaker. It's from the movie called War Room. War Room. It's nothing related to war. It is some Christian movie related to marriage. So anyway, she became a very popular motivational speaker. I don't know if it is probably after the movie, I'm not sure, but it was on my YouTube that I listened to different videos and things like that. So from the last few weeks, here and there, some of our videos showed up and I have listened, and they're really, really good. So yeah, I learned so much from that. It was about, the messages are all like, that you follow spiritual books or follow different motivational speakers or self-help gurus. The messages are all the same. It's what resonates with us, right? That's what makes the biggest difference. Like how she was saying, like, I talk about going from point A to point B, who we become in the process, and how she was emphasizing that our resilience is what becomes our legacy at the end, because our failure is not when we fail, but failure is if we stay there. If we stay there in the valleys, and we don't try to get back up and keep going. If we keep going, then there is no failure. Then it becomes just a learning lesson. So yeah, she just some of these messages she put it very differently, and I thought that was amazing. And sometimes even when we know all of this, hearing it from different perspective with different words, I think it's just goes into our mind in a deeper space, that it helps to change some part of our subconscious, like subconscious that 95% and conscious mind that only 5%. We can't fully change the subconscious, because that's like a natural thing, and that's the job of subconscious, is to create the security, safety, and a lot of time it tends to overdo it, and that's when we struggle, right? So we have to kind of instead of trying to control it, it's almost like how when we disagree with somebody, instead of trying to control, if we try to understand how it works, and then we can navigate around better. So I think similarly, when we learn how our subconscious works, then we can change some of it. And auto-suggestion is that when then subconscious comes back with the ideas that helps us. So that was interesting this morning, that I was listening to as I was brushing my teeth and eating breakfast. So I was and I used my Christmas cup for coffee. So I'm big into Christmas. I know Christmas is more than a month away, but I love Christmas. And it was funny, like a couple days ago, my daughter Alice, she's 8, actually soon she'll be 9 in a few months. She was asking some questions like, did anybody ever see Santa? And so I told her, like, you can't see Santa. Uh, he comes and lives the present for the kids, but you can't really see him. Also, so then she also asked, well, he lives in North Pole, but there are people also who live in North Pole, so how come they didn't see him? So I said, well, he lives way up where he lives. Uh, it's only him and the elves. And then she's like, what if I'm an elf? I'm like, well, your ears are not like elves. So it was kind of little funny discussions we had. So at least she pretended she still believes. I know some of our friends, they have older siblings, so they don't believe in Santa anymore. Um, I have a good explanation for her though. Maybe next year when she's more into that. Okay, I don't believe in it or something, which I learned from some Facebook post several years ago. Somebody said, and I think that was really good explanation. And knowing her, I think this will resonate with Alice when time comes. And like somebody said that Santa is Santa is it's the anybody can be Santa. It's the kindness and generosity that one person shows to the other person. Someone tries to make other people happy, especially in this season. That's what is like being Santa. I mean, so you can be Santa too when you're kind and generous to other people. So I think that'll resonate with her, but probably next year. This year she may have a feeling like she believes halfway. I don't know. So yeah, so that was a little interesting, and and I remember one of my friend several months ago. I was talking to her. So she has two daughters. I think her daughters are much older, like 10 and 14, somewhere like that. And she told me that she never told them about the reality of Santa, but of course they know by now. So she's like, if you don't want to believe in Santa, there is no present. so so she didn't tell them anything, and about Santa. They also don't say anything, and they just get presents every year. So that's another funny concept about kids growing up and questioning things, and how they think about all of this. And I remember, I think it was last week, so Alice was telling me that Santa and Jesus, they're friends. I think she's like, because for Christmas it literally says Christmas. Christmas. So so Santa and Jesus are friends. So yeah, it's always interesting how sometimes kids interpret things and try to find a pattern with different things. And Alice is pretty good at finding patterns um, and sometimes proving her point. So yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Today I'm fasting after I had breakfast, and then I'll have dinner. So generally 1 day a week I do fasting. It's about 8 hours fasting, I would say, from between breakfast to dinner. Someday I might do, I don't know, all 24 hours. I don't think I'm there yet. I drink water pretty much in that 8-hour window, and part of that is um, a friend of mine told me very good explanation about it that really resonated with me is that, and I believe in God, so I pray. I pray almost every day, but the days I fast, I pray more, and that kind of thing is more like focused prayer. So my friend was saying it's more about kind of self-control. It teaches you self-control, and I think that did really help me. So I kind of look at it more that way, like I can do more focused prayer when I'm the day I'm fasting. Usually I do 1 day a week. So that's today. And today my plan is to do a lot of job applications, and other than job applications, I might go to the gym for a little bit, but today I think I'll do less intensive exercise because since I'm fasting, I don't want to overexert myself, but I might do it also because next 4 days I won't have the chance to exercise. So a friend of mine and I, we're going to attend some virtual Tony Robbins training. It's called Unleash the Power Within. Unleash the Power Within. It's also known as UPW. What it does is, I think the core message of the training is like kind of getting rid of fear. We all have fears. Fear is basically what is in the subconscious mind. Getting rid of the fear. And Tony Robbins is very renowned for his training around that. And at some point he is a little, some people would say he's a little controversial figure. But for me, what I found, not only Tony Robbins, many other controversial figures, I think there is always something we can learn from anybody and everybody, right? And it's up to us, like the pastor said last Sunday, what we internalize is who we become. And what I would say is that we always have the option or the choice to internalize what we want to internalize. We don't have to internalize the things that we disagree with, we don't like, or doesn't resonate with us. But there is some good that everyone has. Each one of us have some good in us that we can learn from each other. So that's how I look at it. Tony Robbins' messages, sometime when I listen to it, pumps me up. That's probably that part of my being that thrives on that intense intense messaging where it deeply resonates with me. I think coming from India, from a very small town, and the path that I traveled, not the literal path, but like, in general, my family, all my mom's side, dad's side, everybody is in India, most of them in that small town, and I came here. It's been 19 plus years. So it's been a journey that now that I talk about it, I haven't necessarily followed anyone's direct footstep. It's almost like I had to carve the path for myself. And I don't want to say it in a bragging way, but in some way I did it, but I'm pretty sure, like, it had some of the backing, like my mom, how I didn't realize it when I was growing up, but now I know, like when my dad died when I was 6 years old, and then there were like 6 kids, including myself. So my mom raised us, and I was the youngest, and so she was, and she uh, is very, very extraordinarily resilient, open-minded, and all of that. I now, when I think of it, like a lot of that is what helped me, and sometimes that's the thing, we don't know exactly where the resiliency or the strength or where it's coming from. And as we grow in life, we our subconscious, it looks back and tries to find things, inspiring things that can help us to pick up the pieces. And when I recently, like even including this morning's video that I was listening to, and then a few weeks ago I saw something about where, when you have frequent failure, not only frequent, but any time when you have failure, what happens is our brain, which is also known as neuroplasticity, is a fancy term, our brain changes, a new pathway gets connected, created, new pathway get created. It's almost like, also sometime I talk about like how the patience and resilience is like it's like a rubber band, right? And then um, and it's elastic in nature. So as we go through failure or the learning lessons, and sometimes when we go through similar learning lessons, it just keeps growing, keeps growing, keeps growing, and larger it is, more resilient we are. And generally what happens is, if we have been through only 3 in life, I mean, we all go through more than that, but the point is, instead of 3, if you have 300, it might be here. If you get 3,000, it might be here. So it's all about how we bounce back from it. And when we bounce back so many times, the small ones doesn't impact us anymore, because we have dealt with it so many times. So yeah, it's the resiliency and the perseverance. So the resiliency is when, on a day-to-day basis, if something makes us sad, how do we get up and keep going? And the perseverance, the way I look at it, is perseverance or persistence is like when you have a long term goal. Like in my case, I set up this half a marathon, 13 miles by next year, and I'm only at 2-3 miles when I run, so I have a long way to go. But I'm trying to do like 1 extra mile every month. That's how I'm trying to increase it. It'll take a while, but that's the persistence I'm talking about. Either if it is through physical exercise, you're setting a long-term goal, or anything else for that matter. When you're setting a long-term goal, how we are taking the action, small actions, either daily or weekly or monthly, whichever way we want to get there and measure progress, is it builds up that strength, the resilience and persistence. It keeps growing when we do that, because we as human beings, we tend to try to control what we can't control, and which is the reason for all the worry, sadness, anger, and all of that. But we forget that there is always something that we can control, and that's what we should focus on. But it happens to me too. I also forget. So yesterday was interesting, because it was something that didn't go according to plan. And so I was feeling a little sad in the afternoon, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym. And then I went. After the exercise, I felt a little better. I was not fully there yet, but I felt a little bit better. And then every little bit counts, because next time when it happens, you know that, oh, I did that and it did help. And for me, doing these videos, excuse me, really helps me to internalize that more, because I have seen when I've done it and then I haven't made the video or something, it was just one other thing. It's just one other experience that's just there and kind of hides down in our minds. And that's why I would highly encourage you that if you write, if you do journaling by writing, or if you make private videos or even public videos, um, even if you do like TikTok or whatever resonates with you, like a short something, and it really makes a big difference. For me, I can say that I started these videos for 5, 6, not 6 months yet. It's 5.5 months. And I think this have helped me so much that other than the videos, I go do things with the community and learning. I'm in that learning mode, and that emotional growth, that I want to learn more, and I want to, all of this I have been doing, and in some way, shape, or form, these videos, the consistency with this helped me so much, because this was one thing that I could control myself, because I was not dependent on anybody. I had to. I was like, I don't want to give up this practice. So I pushed myself to be consistent with this. And then one thing helps the other. So as I kept doing that, and then I set the goal for my half a marathon. I set the goal for my half day fasting, 1 day a week. I choose, and then I do half day fasting for. My plan is to do 40 weeks, and this week is week 9. I look there because my calendar is there. Week 9. So those long-term goals helps us to kind of commit to our larger goal, and to reach to those larger goal. When we focus on what we can control, how we can manifest those, not only it helps us to get there, it also builds more confidence in us that we can do that big thing, and one thing helps the other, and the next thing helps the other thing, and through the process. So this morning video, she was talking about how while doing something, not only we are inspiring ourselves, the people around us. So yesterday, a friend of mine, she has seen me through since last November, when things went crazy. She has seen it up close, everything, and she has been amazing, absolutely amazing. And she said, like, I hope you're proud of yourself. Literally, our words. I hope you're proud of yourself with how you are doing things, and you are a badass. Of course, in a good way. You know what that means when this somebody says, it means good. You're a badass, and what else she said? Yeah, she said, like, I admire you, and I also thanked her. I told her that, especially in the first few months, because I didn't start this channel until end of May. So, first few months when I was in deep pain, extreme sadness sometimes, she was always inspiring me, and I told her each and every word that she said made a huge difference for me and helped me to keep going on this path. And she would say that so many people would in this situation, so many people would go drink or something. But for me, drinking is not a problem, because I don't like to drink, so that was an easy one for me. But she would always inspire me. So I told her that, without her help, I don't know where I would have landed. And sometimes that's the thing, when we can be a great support to somebody, we don't know how it can make a difference, but it can. So we also can be that support for others. And I'm saying it also to remind myself sometime, it's not easy because we all have our day-to-day life and stress and challenges and the things that we go through, because everybody is going through some things. And being that support for another person can make a huge difference, and people around um, that person also could be inspired. So a friend of mine, what she did to me, that inspired me, and then now a lot of other people are inspired by what I'm doing. So that, and those people, she doesn't know them. So that's the beauty of it, that we don't have to change 8 billion people. Each of us around ourselves is a little world that we carry with us. The people that we meet every day, we have the opportunity to change lives, to change our little world by doing what we do on a day-to-day basis, the way we respond to things, um, you know. So, and people, there's so many kind people. So the other day I went to my Toastmasters mentors, a husband and wife. They have been with Toastmasters for like 30 years. Super awesome, super awesome. They're amazing. Their public speaking skills are like, oh my god, really, really good. So I had been thinking to do some TED Talk, which TED Talk preparation, TEDx, takes a long time. And I went there to discuss, and they had such amazing ideas and how to go about it, how to hone in my message and things like that. So yeah, so someday hopefully, I would try to hone in that message, and then keep doing speeches at Toastmasters, which I do, and I'm figuring that slowly. I am enjoying public speaking more and more. So it's kind of funny. 10 years ago, if somebody told me, I'd be like, I would do speeches for the sake of improving my speaking skills and just overall public speaking or at work. But now I'm getting to a point where I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. And then they would say that, your nervous energy when you do public speaking, your nervous energy and excitement energy is the same thing. You can just switch it, and that's what now I feel. And I think all of it comes with, more you practice, more you get there, and your most fearful thing actually can give you the most joy. That's what I realized, because at some point that was the most fearful thing for me, but now not anymore. So it's interesting how that evolves with life, because back in the day when I was at my school, I used to be afraid of public speaking so much so that it's unbelievable. I remember I would even ask a question to the teachers, even if I had a question, because I was so afraid of asking the questions. And now makes me wonder that if I did those, and how my life would have turned out, my career, if it would have been better or what, I don't know. It's so it's a very, the possibilities in life. So that also makes me wonder that how life could turn out in 5 or 10 years from now. I know I talked a lot random things this morning, but that's part of like my morning journaling. I just talk about different things and what's in my mind. I would highly recommend you to do that too. It does help. Trust me, it does help so much. I can't tell you, especially when you're going through some challenges in life, difficult challenges. I'm still going through a lot, but I don't focus on that. My focus is in the future, what I can do about things, not about the things I don't talk about, the things that I can control, and that's what we can do. Our best is what we focus on, the things that can get our frequency to the higher level. So with that, I'm going to do my intention setting and visualization that I usually do in the other things. So every little bit helps. And now my mindfulness. Can't smell anything. When it comes to the sound, I can hear myself and I can hear some sound outside. I don't know if it's a little far away, maybe lawnmower or something like that. And the birds chirping. So that's the thing. Like normally, I don't even notice there's a bird chirping outside, and I can hear it from inside, even though the glass windows are supposed to be a little soundproof, but then I can still hear it. And I am noticing different colors: dark blue, purple, light purple, dark purple, pink, yellow, green, red, pretty much all the colors of the rainbow. And taste, this morning I had coffee and a bagel. Usually the day I do my fasting, when I skip my lunch, that's the fasting, the 8 hours window, I tend to eat bagel in the morning so that I don't get too hungry during the day. So I remember the taste of that. It's a little cold in the room, so I'm wearing my flannel shirt. I love it, especially closer to Christmas. Thinking. So thinking is our sixth sense. So as far as thinking goes, I am trying to stay present with what I'm talking about, because none of these talks I actually prepare in advance, so I have to stay present to talk about things, which is a good thing because that helps me to stay present for quite a bit. So that's why also I talk about, like, if you journal, that's the time you are present, because normally when you're writing about something, you generally won't be thinking about something else, you will be thinking just about that. So journaling also in itself helps to stay in the present moment for a bit. Now, gratitude. Yeah, so I'm still doing the new gratitude, every 3 new gratitude every day, and that has been super helpful because it does help me to keep looking at little things. Like this morning I was feeling grateful about the pillow and the blanket and the cozy warm bed that I woke up in. A lot of people in this world are suffering through many things. They don't have that opportunity. So simple things like that, it makes you feel grateful for things. You kind of look around for the good every day, so that helps. Finally, my affirmation: I trust in the path. Self-control. I speak positive and uplifting words. I spread joy, peace, harmony, patience. I live in the present moment. I'm kind. I forgive. I look for positive in all situations. I let go. I let go. I'm strong. I'm resilient. I believe in myself. And I don't give up. These are the 2 things I teach my daughter Alice: believe in yourself and don't ever give up. She's only 8 years old, but these 2 things so far she internalized. I hope it continues. Because while growing up, nobody ever told me that. So I think I learned the hard way many times to believe in myself and not to give up. So I started teaching her that early on. Well, with that, I'm gonna finish the video today, and I hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday. And next few days, I think my videos are gonna be short because the Tony Robbins trainings are 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I heard from a friend who attended the trainings. She said when she attended in person sometime, the 10 p.m. would extend to 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So they're like supposed to be 12 hours, but sometimes they're like 14, 15 hours a day, 4 days straight. So I might make a short video in the mornings or something, but I'll for the consistency purpose, I will do it. But I'll probably be short in the next 4 days. Um, okay. So bye, and keep doing even one thing, whatever that you find that you can do consistently, setting a long-term goal, whatever that goal is for you, either if it's, I don't know, buying a house, buying a car, or new job, like a long-term goal. I don't know, 6 months, 1 year, and then how you'll get there and take consistent action. That is something that really helped me big time, which I didn't know 5 months, 5.5 months ago when I started these videos. And this one thing will lead to another, and it will build confidence, resilience. You know, how I look at things, like, 6 months ago, how I looked at things and how I look at things now is so very different. um, I do hope that in a year from now, life is more successful, or whichever way you define, but through the process, I become a person who is more resilient, because that's what is important when we go from here to here. This November to next November, if I were to think like who I become in the process. So I hope my resiliency grows as I keep doing this, um, because that is what can help us to live a happier life. And resilience and patience, all of this also goes hand in hand. I know I need to grow my patience, and everybody would say that, but really working on it to get there is the key. So I'm working on those. Hopefully it gets better by then. And yeah, yeah. So have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. It might be evening or night. So good evening, good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.